What up? Salvador Briggman here from the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. On this channel, we love to talk about crowdfunding, and it is a very great day here in Miami. And today I want to talk about really marketing, and specifically how do you market more of your products, how do you market your business, and how do you do this in a scientific way. So whether you're doing a campaign, for example, on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, if you're trying to get more and more people interested in what you're doing online, or you're trying to sell products or services, I think you're going to take a lot away from today's video and try to really break it down in a no-nonsense fashion. So if you've ever been wondering what goes into a successful marketing campaign, that's what we're gonna be touching on today, whether you wanna execute it yourself or just understand what the pros are doing behind the scenes. So let's get into today's video. Let's get to the crux of it, and it's coming up right after this. So to start off this video, first of all, again, my name is Salvador Briggman, and welcome back to this channel. If you do like my other videos that I've been putting out there, you like my personality way, I sometimes talk very fast, give me a thumbs up on this video. It would mean so much to me, and other people obviously know that as well. If you're new to this channel, I hope that you like today's video. So let's talk about this. First of all, when it comes to entering a new industry, for example, marketing, the way that we try to understand this is through models. So in order to understand decision-making frameworks, how consumers, how customers make decisions, we need a model, because just to kind of try to explain it, to try to actually understand where someone is in the decision-making process, it's very difficult to do unless you have a model. All that a model is designed to do is just kind of simulate the real world and what's happening in real time. So we're not talking about a product model or a person who's a model, right? Which there are tons of them, obviously, in Miami. I'm talking about an intellectual model. So for this one, we're actually going to be using an old school model just to kind of simplify this. This is the AIDA model, which I believe was around maybe the 60s, the 70s, was really when it started to become more popular. So this is the model framework we're going to be using when it comes to understanding marketing in a marketing funnel. Let's get into that now. Okay, so hopefully you can read my handwriting. So we're going to start with A. So AIDA. Okay, so A is usually awareness, and I like to kind of think of it more as attention or awareness. I is going to be interest. D is desire, and A stands for action. AIDA, awareness, interest, desire, action. Awareness, interest, desire, action. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be kind of thinking about the flow that someone takes in order to buy a product or buy a service online, and pushing it through this very simple model, this very simple funnel, and describing that. So that way you can not only diagnose things like where is the model breaking for your particular business, where are you unclear when it comes to knowing how to get someone to actually take action, and in that way you can improve the marketing for your business or your product. So let's start with attention and awareness. So what does really this mean? Attention and awareness. This is really where someone is, in this kind of terms, just has seen, is aware, has experienced at least your brand in some way. So this could be your actual logo. This could be the actual seeing the product in some way on social media, having a very high level idea of what the problem is or what the solution is that you're trying to put out there, you're trying to market, you're trying to promote. They have a high level of attention or awareness, right? So this is something basically you've entered their universe in some way. I like to think of the human mind as kind of like a massive checklist of to-do items, right? And sometimes we're thinking about, oh, I want to do this, want to do that, right? And then all of a sudden we have something that kind of enters the mind, and all of a sudden it's taking over what our attention is. So for example, when I'm really hungry and I want to go to Pollo Tropical, the only thing on my mind is Pollo Tropical, right? And going there, once that's done, then I'm getting back to work, right? So I have many different things that are happening in my mind. And our idea is, what kind of mind share do we have when it comes to the customer? Are we number 2? Are we number 10 on their list? Are we number 1 at a certain time? At least at this point, you are in their mind. You've penetrated their mind. You're part of their world. You're part of their understanding. And maybe not for a long time necessarily yet, but you have their attention and their awareness. So what are some examples of this, just to kind of make this a little bit more tangible? Some examples, we'll just have this column kind of be examples. Some attentions might be, they see it, let's just say on social media. They hear about it from a friend, so like a referral, or a friend posted on social media. It could be they see it from an advertisement of some kind. Maybe they stumble upon it, they discover it from a PR story or the news. There's so many different ways in which people can learn, and really just you begin to enter their mind when it comes to awareness and attention of your brand, when they're aware of the product that you're selling or the service that you're selling. But at the end of the day, you want to think of this as you have their attention, you have their eyeballs on something at least, where they're beginning to get a sense of what you're doing. And this is really the beginning of the relationship. If you don't get their awareness and attention at some point in time, you are never gonna get their interest, their desire, or get them to take action. It is the prerequisite. You can't have someone buy something that they're not aware of, right? So this is really the first step, is getting awareness and attention. And again, this is more of the top of funnel. If you wanna think of it, this is the top of the funnel. We're trying to get tons of people interested, and it kind of moves downwards from there. Okay, now let's get into interest. How do you generate interest? I feel like I'm teaching you guys like how to date or something like that. It's hilarious. So interest, right? How do you actually generate interest? So interest, by that, I kind of mean, first of all, benefits a little bit interested in the benefits of your product or your service, and a little bit maybe as well of functionality. So I also lump this into what's kind of your big promise. Okay, so this is really when someone basically sees what it is that you're offering. Okay, they see, for example, this new product which you have, and they actually start to be like, this is actually kind of cool. This is actually not one of those other really rinky-dink ads that just put out there or social media posts. This is actually something that's kind of interesting. Like the benefits hooked my attention, and I want to learn a little bit more. So I would make this synonymous with, hey, I want to conduct some more research. Okay, so by doing this, there's typically some kind of an action which they are going to take to really enter this next phase. So that could be, for example, following you on social media. That could be joining something like a mailing list which you have. That could be sending you a message, inquiring about more information, sending you a message on Facebook, or if you have a Facebook page or something like that, right? There are many ways in which someone can show interest, but at the very least, that person, you're no longer just a random person who's out there in the world who's just doing another business, right? You have their awareness and attention, and you've generated their interest a little bit to the point where they want to actually find out more information about you, your products, your services, and your company. So let's try to keep this a little bit consistent, right? So what are some examples of this? This could be, for example, people bookmarking you if they're using that. It could be adding you to their notes if they're using Mac. I love using notes. It could be following you for more updates. It could be joining your email list or something like that. It could be inquiring a little bit, trying to learn more, right? There are many different ways in which you can actually have examples of showing interest. Those are just a couple. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description. All right, man, let's talk about generating that desire. How do you get someone to want it, right? Not just like it, not just be interested, but they want it, right? This is, at the end of the day, an emotional experience. The experience to own something, to have something in your life which you don't have previously. And it's kind of a little bit Machiavellian when it comes to being a marketer, is you're basically trying to show someone that their life is not great. They need to have this product in their life for it to be amazing, right? It's a little bit Machiavellian. But when it comes to desire, really, again, this is about not just having someone like this, but it's really about transitioning them to want it. And they feel this through some kind of an emotional connection. So I'm just gonna say emotional. And this is basically a connection to the product or what it does or the way they see themselves, their identity, right? As a result, when it comes to owning this particular product, it could be other things when it comes to what they wanna have in terms of moving their life forward in some way. So there's some kind of an emotional connection that they feel towards the product, the brand, that actually is causing them to actually want to own this particular product or to experience the benefits of this particular service or to do business with this company. And they also likely feel to a degree some emotions towards that brand itself. So maybe that brand has such cool, amazing design. I love the craftsmanship behind this. Or this is such cool technology. I love the way that this founder is actually so laser focused on this particular new way of doing something, right? I feel something kind of an emotion towards it. And that begins to build over time. It's this feeling of like, I want to own this. I want to buy the service. I want to have the end results. Or this is such a cool way of going about business. I really connect with this company's mission. So when you start to notice this, what are some of the symptoms? Like if I'm a doctor, right? What are some of the symptoms? How would we diagnose this? What would we see when it comes to actually showing up with this? What are some of those examples, right? So some examples from more high level perspectives that they no longer just view you as a marketer or as someone who's trying to sell them on something that they don't need. They're almost just like inquiring, wanting to know further. They're asking more deliberate, detailed questions. So they might ask for something about, for example, the price. Where is this available? So like availability, specifications. They might be asking a little bit more about that. They're thinking a little bit more logically about it. And actually, now that they want to own this, they might think like, have exclamations for like, this is so cool, right? Or this is wow, or commenting on your post on Facebook, or tagging their friends. You'd be like, this is amazing, I gotta own this, right? There's different ways in which you can kind of diagnose it. I would say a lot of the times it's also just the level of engagement when it comes to your marketing. So for example, people actually showing up if you're putting out a video or looking at your social media, and you can actually see that when it comes to your analytics behind the scenes with your social media. So this is about engagement. This is about people wanting to own it, wanting to experience the benefits, wanting to have that problem solved, wanting to have that future version of themselves where they have maybe gotten this product in their life, beautiful, loving the craftsmanship, or really adoring your brand and the story and the vision, what you're trying to do. There's an emotional connection there, which is causing them, it's almost like this swelling feeling that they have, like they want to buy. This is so cool. And the more you can kind of raise that, the more and more people actually want to own the thing, which then, puts them into the next point we're going to talk about, which is action. So before we talk about action, I probably should say that, again, this is a little bit of an older model, and it's much simpler and easier to understand, which is the reason why I wanted to talk about it today to you, is that it's just a little bit easier. It's a little bit more, high level in that sense. But I would say around here, decision and action, which are technically the bottom of the funnel, and also in mid funnel, there are usually more stages that a sophisticated marketer who has experience would be going through. So for example, in the action stage, right, you're not just going to immediately go to action. There's also different questions that you might have when it comes to specifications. You might be having more logical conclusions that you need to have kind of pushed over different obstacles, like, will this work for me, right? How is this going to be installed if this is a new product that I'm entering in my home? What about the pricing? How long is this deal going to be going on for, right? Those kinds of logical questions do also tend to enter your mind. So there are more steps here, but I would say from a very high level perspective, the next tends to be action, which is really what do you want that person to do? So the big thing with action is that they are taking action. Now that could be a purchase of some kind. So we're gonna have some examples here. That could be like a purchase. That could be doing something that you asked them to do. For example, maybe making an initial payment of some kind. That could be backing your campaign if it's a crowdfunding campaign. Whatever it is, they're taking action. You've gotten to the point where they didn't know about you before. They had never heard of you, man, before. All of a sudden, you're in their life. You got their awareness. You got their attention. You've developed their interest. They followed you now for a certain period of time. They've seen your communications. You're no longer a stranger to them. They actually like what you're doing. Not only do they like it, but they want to own whatever it is that you're producing out there, product or service. And finally, they are taking action. They're ready to take action. And when they take action, it almost kind of like fulfills this entire cycle. So again, there are many ways in which you can take action. I would say that if anything, there tends to be also a couple of different key criteria before the action step, like I mentioned before, but that's really at the end of the day, when you start to see sales coming in, when you start to see people actually, not just saying from their words, oh, I'm gonna buy this, or this looks so cool, or I'm gonna, purchase this service or purchase this product, or I am gonna do business in your company, right? It goes from words to really seeing that tangibly with their behavior. Here's the cool thing. If you do manage to get people to the action phase, which is the hallmark of every successful online business, which is out there, or in physical person business, right? Any kind of physical storefront, you got to eventually get people to take action. And maybe this sequence could happen over the course of 30 days, could happen over the course of a week. It could happen literally in 5 to 10 minutes when you're entering a store and you see a product that you like, for example, like, I don't know, a new pair of jeans or something like that, and it gets your attention. You go over there and you kind of put your hands on it. You're like, okay, this feels like good quality fabric. Maybe you try it on. You're like, man, I look so good in these jeans, right? I got to own this. And all of a sudden you're thinking about, you're going to go out on the town on Friday, and you're going to go to that next, go watch some sports or something like that. And you're like, this is going to look so cool. I like this. I like the way it feels. It's so comfortable. Eventually you take action, you get in line, and you maybe even will wait in the line for a while if you really do like those pair of jeans. So in the action stage, right, this is typically as well, depending on how much you want it, how much you want to own it, you're actually willing to put up with a decent amount of friction before you actually take action. So for example, that could be waiting in a super long line that you would never wait in because they've gotten you to this end of the stage, which is action. So for example, waiting outside of line of a massive store, let's just say a new sneaker store or an Apple store, or someone has come out with a new product that you really want to own or buy, or waiting for a concert, right? Or waiting to get into a club, waiting to get into a music venue. And you're literally having like hours of time spent in line. And the reason is you've hit that action stage where you're ready to take action. You're willing to do whatever it takes in order to have that experience, buy that product, or own that service. So if you want to talk about this and the way that this works for your business, I'm doing this new thing where you can actually fill out this form down below and you can actually inquire. And one of my team members is going to reach out to you if you're interested in getting help when it comes to implementing implementing this model for your company or for your business. So maybe you're doing an e-commerce store. Maybe you're trying to build up your company in a different way. Maybe you're trying to raise capital. Maybe you're trying to do even a crowdfunding campaign, right? Whatever you're trying to do with your company, if marketing you feel like is something just not really working, there's a lot of friction. And whether maybe it's just in the attention generation stage, maybe it's taking all that attention you've generated and actually getting people to be interested, to create desire, to actually get them to take action. Whichever stage of this process, of this funnel that you feel like you're struggling with, we can help you. So if you fill out the form down below and just tell me a little bit more about what you're trying to accomplish, what are your goals, what are your objectives, if we feel like we can help you, I'm talking about my company, crowdcrux.com, then I will have someone reach out to you and we can learn a little bit more about what you're doing. So again, if that sounds interesting, go and check out the link down below. I think the link is also crowdcrux.com/help. So if you're interested in having help with your marketing, help when it comes to bringing people in, getting people excited about what you're doing, selling them, creating that desire, man, right? Creating that desire to have people wanting to do business and eventually then taking that action, turning their words, things they're just saying, into actually physical action and actually commitment, right? To you, your brand, and what you're trying to accomplish. Go and check out that link down below. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video style. I do want to teach more when it comes to marketing. So I'm going to be doing more in-depth videos, right? When it comes to this particular model and others that are out there. So if you did enjoy this, come subscribe to this YouTube channel. My name is Salvador Briggman, and I'll see you next time.